Newcastle fans, sit down because today's news isn't light. There's a player open to leaving, a young player gaining momentum, a coach being questioned, and at the same time backed by the board. All of this intersects just before the January transfer window. What is the club really planning? Who might leave now? Who has become non-negotiable? And how long will patience with Eddie Howe last? Stay with me until the end because the answers aren't as simple as they seem. William Osula's situation has heated up again, and it's no small matter. According to information coming from Germany, Newcastle has resumed talks with Eintracht Frankfurt to discuss a possible departure of the striker in the winter transfer window. The same Frankfurt that tried to take him on loan in the summer but didn't want to commit to a permanent purchase. And then the deal stalled. Now, the scenario has changed. Reports indicate that Osula is open to a transfer. Open. That word carries weight. It's not about forcing a move, it's not about clashing with the club, but it's about making it clear that he wants to play. He wants to be on the pitch. He wants a first-team place. And he doesn't always agree with Eddie Howe when it comes to opportunities. This helps explain a lot, including that provocative celebration against Liverpool in August, when he basically said, "Look at me." That wasn't random. It was a message. It was frustration transformed into action. Internally, Osula is seen as a negotiable asset. He's on the list of possible departures for January. In the summer, he didn't leave only because the PIF vetoed the loan after Frankfurt refused to accept a purchase obligation. At the time, there was talk of something close to £21 million, with Bayer Leverkusen also monitoring the situation. It's worth remembering, Newcastle paid $10 million to Sheffield United for him. Doubling that amount wouldn't be a bad deal on paper. But then comes the question, is it worth giving up on a 22-year-old player, fast, athletic, with evident potential, just because he hasn't had a consistent run of games yet? Another factor weighs in this equation. Osula hasn't played since November due to an ankle injury. That's 16 missed matches in all competitions. At a time when the squad is suffering from fatigue and a heavy schedule, this complicates any evaluation. The player's representatives want a club that guarantees him minutes in the first team. Not vague promises, not sporadic rotation, real minutes. And Osula clearly feels that this isn't happening at Newcastle. Even so, Eddie Howe has publicly stated that he believes in the player. He said he is vital, highlighted his speed, his tactical evolution, and the fact that he is becoming more complete thanks to daily work in training. The coach doesn't hide his confidence in the talent, but confidence without playing time becomes empty rhetoric for someone who wants to grow. So the question remains, will Newcastle bet on and back Osula permanently, or will they take advantage of the Bundesliga's heated transfer market to raise funds? Now, while Osula might leave, Lewis Miley is the complete opposite. Eddie Howe has made a firm decision. He will block any offers for the youngster before the January transfer window. Miley is seen as an important player, both now and in the future. And this didn't come out of nowhere. Against Chelsea at St. James Park, Miley started out of his usual position, playing out of position at right back. He didn't complain. He didn't feel the pressure of the game. He was consistent, disciplined, and caught the coach's attention. According to Mick Brown, former chief scout for Manchester United and Sunderland, Miley has definitively secured his place in the club's long-term plans. The same Newcastle that feared being forced to sell him in the summer due to financial reasons now doesn't even consider that possibility. The boy's versatility has become an asset. His consistency has appeared. And when a 19-year-old player responds like that, the internal assessment changes quickly. A direct question: how many young players can do that under pressure in an improvised position against an opponent like Chelsea? Brown was clear when speaking about Miley. He said that he did everything right, worked hard, heard doubts about his level, but responded on the field. Howe gave him the opportunity and was impressed. Furthermore, the fact that Miley didn't complain, accepted the challenge, and delivered performances is a significant factor for a coach. This kind of attitude is invaluable in a squad that needs internal solutions, especially during a time of financial constraints and a tight schedule. Therefore, the club's final decision is to keep him, regardless of previous opinions. Here's a simple question for you, the fan. Can Miley become one of those silent pieces that sustain the project in the long term? Even with good individual performances like Miley's, the draw against Chelsea reignited questions about Eddie Howe. After 17 rounds of the Premier League, Newcastle has won only 6 games and occupies 11th place. For a club that started the season with high expectations, this is concerning. Part of the fan base is already asking for changes, but internally, the scenario is different. The club isn't considering firing Howe. On the contrary, he's still seen as the right man to lead the project. Mick Brown reinforced this by saying that the coach still has a lot of credit accumulated for what he's built since he arrived. There's recognition that the current inconsistency isn't solely due to the coach's decisions. Injuries, the schedule, squad limitations, and the overall context also play a role. The question remains, how long can this credit withstand external pressure? Newcastle enters the January transfer window at a delicate point. They can sell a player who wants more playing time, hold on to another who has become a symbol of internal confidence, and keep a coach who is questioned externally but supported within the club. These aren't simple decisions. They are decisions that shape the immediate future. And now I ask you, would you keep Osula or sell him at the height of German interest? Does Miley already deserve to be treated as a potential starter? And is Eddie Howe still the right person to lead this phase? Leave your opinion, support the channel, and stay tuned because January promises to be anything but tranquil at St. James's Park.